There is a reason some people do all the mindset work, all the manifestation, all the visualization and journaling, and still feel like the results are slower than they should be. And that is because manifestation is not just about the mindset work or even about frequency work, it is also physical. And today I'm going to show you how your body is constantly voting on what you get to receive. Welcome back to the Full Body Yes podcast, my loves. Most teachings emphasize thinking, affirmations, visualizations, all of those things that are in the mind, right? One word that has been a highlight word in the last couple of years is identity. Everyone, all the mentors and coaches use the word identity. And listen, I use that as well. Identity is great, but it is only one piece of the puzzle. Identity is not everything. And all of those things that all those coaches, mentors, teachings talk about are usually very rooted in the mind, in rewiring the subconscious, rewiring your identity, visualizing. And again, these things are important. Visualization is one of the most important things for manifestation. So I'm absolutely not saying that these things are not important. However, most teachings, coaches, mentors, teachers that I have seen actually ignore the physical body. They ignore how the physical body and the nervous system actually determine what we allow ourselves to receive, whether we are manifesting the right things, how we feel about receiving our manifestations and achieving our goals, and whether we actually feel worthy of them. Now, again, we can do all the mental and mindset work in the world, but if your body feels unsafe, feels overwhelmed, feels stressed, pressured, or even just feels undeserving, then none of the other work is going to help you enough to achieve that goal. Your body will quietly resist the very thing that you are working so hard on in your mind to achieve and to manifest. Now, when we begin including the body in manifestation work, and again, that is not to replace the mindset work, the subconscious work, and the identity work, that is another layer. When we include the body, manifestation, achieving your goals becomes less about forcing beliefs and more about including your body, expanding what your system can comfortably hold and feel worthy of. And today I'm going to be talking to you about exactly how that looks, how your body signals to you whether your manifestation is actually close, and how to use, almost manipulate your body to make your manifestation come faster and in a more aligned way. So let's dive in. Now, let's start with talking about why this even matters. Like, why is it not enough to just think about what you want, visualize what you want, script it, rewire your identity at the subconscious level? Why do we also need to pay attention to your body and to your nervous system? That is because your body, together with your mind, drives your behavior, drives your intuition, drives your decision making, your avoidance patterns. Your body, again, in addition to the mind, they work together. Your body stores so many patterns, both patterns that we want to remove, right? Like some traumas that we've acquired, quote unquote, over the years, patterns that don't serve us. And your body also signals to the universe. It is part of the frequency layer of the PAF method that I talk about in my free training, Make It Inevitable, which, side note, if you haven't gotten that training yet, if you haven't watched it, it is life-changing. So make sure you check out the link in the description box /show notes. But the body is very much part of the frequency work, right? The PAF method talks about physical actions, identity, and frequency. And as part of the frequency work, again, so many people do energy work, energy healing, but not enough people talk about your actual physical body and how to use it to manifest. Now, if your body reads something as stressful or as you feeling like not enough, if your body is storing old patterns and old traumas that are going to contradict what you're trying to manifest, you will not be able to manifest that thing. You will not be able to reach that goal, or you will constantly sabotage it and definitely slow it down. Now, how does the body influence what we allow ourselves to receive? That happens through contraction, tension, hesitation, and even emotional overwhelm that gets stored in the body that makes opportunities feel maybe heavier rather than exciting, or feel unsafe, or feel stressful, or just feel like there's no way that I can even have that thing. And also, if you're constantly running and rushing, how can you allow space to receive if your body feels like it's anyway on the edge of what it can do? You are constantly, your schedule is packed with meetings and appointments and children and courses and all of these things that you're doing. Your body doesn't feel safe to receive it, doesn't even feel like it has the capacity. What I want you to understand at this point is that everything is energy, right? If we go back to the PAF method, which is the core of what I teach and what I work on with my clients, everything is energy. The frequency that you're broadcasting is obviously energy. Your identity sends out, again, a signal to the world, so that's energy. And your physical actions are energy in themselves. According to quantum physics, everything in this world is made up of energy, of matter, whether that is slowed down matter, which we can see, touch, and feel, or whether that is very, very fast matter, which we can't necessarily see and feel, but it is very much there. So what I want you to understand here in relation to what we're talking about in this episode is that physical reactions in your physical body are energy. They broadcast a certain type of energy, right? So if you're constantly rushing, or if the thought of your manifestation makes you contract, makes you feel tension, makes you feel like you are unworthy, that is the energy that you are broadcasting. And that is why it matters so much. That is why we don't just want to work with our mind, because that is just one layer, and our physical body transmutes and broadcasts this energy. And it is just as important in making sure that we both feel safe to receive and we feel worthy of receiving that manifestation. That is a layer that is so, so crucial. For example, when you visualize, we want to include your body in that visualization. When you do shadow work, when you remove patterns, when you remove gaps that have been there for years, we want to make sure that we remove these things from the body as well. And this is what we're going to be talking about today. Now, let's talk about what it actually means to manifest with your body and to use your body to make sure you are manifesting correctly, you are manifesting in an aligned way, and you are manifesting faster. So the first thing that I want you to do, and all of you listening to this, I'm sure you have something that you are working towards right now, whether that is a business goal, a visibility goal, a personal goal, whatever that is. We all have this one main thing, maybe two main things that we are working towards. I want you to think about that thing now, and I want you to say the goal, say the desire, say the manifestation out loud. So, and not in the I want version, which again is something that we do not want to be broadcasting. I want, that is something that again I cover in the Make It Inevitable free training. Not I want, but I have this thing. So for example, I am in a loving relationship. I am in a loving marriage. I have 30 clients on my client roster. I consistently make $20,000 a month. I want you to say that thing out loud. So if you can, maybe even pause this episode for a second, sit down in a quiet place, say this. And I want you to notice how your body responds to you saying this. So start noticing your breath, your shoulders position, your chest, your stomach. A lot of the times, I would say 99.9% of the times, when I do this myself and with clients, what we notice is there is contraction somewhere there. It does not feel fully expansive and fully good. If it did, the manifestation would probably already be here. So usually there would be this tension here. If you feel calm, openness, expansion, that means your body feels the capacity to have this thing. That means that your body feels safe to receive it. And that means that your body feels deserving of receiving the thing. But again, most people would feel tension. They would feel pressure. They would feel some shrinking signals. So they can feel kind of a pit in their stomach. They can feel like a lump in their throat. They can feel their shoulder tense up. They can feel their jaw tensing up. They can feel kind of a knot in their chest. If you feel any of these things, or maybe even like a shallow breath, if you feel any of these things, like kind of shrinking contraction signals, that indicates resistance, overwhelm, pressure. Now, I'll give you an example that I've actually worked on with a client recently. So this client has been growing her coaching business, and her goal, her manifestation that she came to me with to work on is in a private sessions is having a fully booked calendar with client sessions. We talked about that, I think it was in our second session. I got her to do this exercise and her body fully contracted. There was no expansion there. She was almost feeling a panic when she was saying, I am fully booked with clients. I think she was saying 5 or 6 sessions a day, 5 days a week. She was feeling stress. She was feeling pressure. Now, when we feel that pressure, when we feel that stress, when our body contracts, what do we get from that? Well, sometimes, and that was in the case of my client, sometimes people realize that their manifestation is actually misaligned. And the body is one of the simplest ways to check this because she thought she wanted a fully booked calendar. But when she actually tuned into that, that stressed her out because she realized she didn't necessarily want more work. She's already working a lot. She's already putting so much effort. So many people realize sometimes they don't want more. They want maybe better, maybe simpler, maybe more spacious, maybe higher quality. And the body shows that immediately. And sometimes, a lot of the times, it's not necessarily that the goal is misaligned. Even here, it wasn't fully misaligned. We were just talking about how to create more space so the manifestation doesn't feel stressful to her. But sometimes the manifestation, the goal, the desire can be almost 100% aligned. If it's not, again, you just make adjustments. So they do want that more, but they don't realize that they can't manifest more, right? More clients, more visibility, more success, more money from an already overwhelmed system and schedule. So when this contraction in the body appears, there are two possible moves or options, I would say. First of all, it is expanding your capacity. So that is staying with the vision, right? If you need to adjust it a little bit, you do, but staying with the vision, you know that this is the vision, this is the goal, this is what you want. And you work on regulating your body. We'll talk later about what it means exactly, how to regulate the body, how to expand the body for more capacity. You work with the breath, you work with grounding, you work with softening, you work with visualization in the body until the nervous system learns that receiving this is safe and that you are worthy of receiving it. And the second option, the second move when contraction appears, as I said in the example that I gave before with a client, is actually refining your vision. So sometimes contraction actually reveals that the specific shape of the goal is not necessarily right. So it could be that you're saying that you want all of these clients and all of these sessions, all of these gigs, whatever it is that you're doing, but actually a higher value for you is spaciousness. Now, this does not mean that you need to give up money or you need to give up success. It is about refining the vision for maybe having less clients, having less gigs, or whatever that is, but charging more for them. And again, this goes back, once you refine the vision, this goes back to expanding your capacity to feel worthy and deserving of charging more, of your calendar not being like packed and still being successful and still having all of that money and all of that success that you want. Now, when manifestation becomes something that you can hold, that you feel like you are safe to receive, because let's just go back, rewind a little bit. As humans, are so used to it's going to sound dramatic, but we are so used to suffering. We are so used to things not going our way. We are almost addicted to it. Like, we are not used to things going our way. That scares us. And that goes back to the nervous system and the subconscious mind feeling like what is familiar is what is safe, right? And having success, more like easier success, more aligned success, more money, more clients, whatever that is, that feels unsafe. That is unfamiliar, right? So when we use our body to manifest, we first of all want our body, our nervous system to feel safe with receiving. And then the additional layer, which I'll talk about in a little bit, is also feeling worthy. Not just worthy, feeling owed. Feeling like you are owed this manifestation yesterday and using your body to broadcast that into the universe. But if we're talking about what it feels like to feel safe, to feel like you can hold the visualization, that would feel in your body like breathing deeply, like your shoulders dropping, like your posture just expanding and opening. The idea feels normal when you say it out loud rather than stressful, intense, and overwhelming. It's just obvious. Like, it's just obvious that this is yours. It feels calm. It feels just normal, like almost neutral. That is when you know that your body is actually aligned with your manifestation. Now, when your body feels safe, feels relaxed, feels neutral about the thing, it is so much easier to pull in, to magnetize the right opportunities, the right clients, the right people, the right events. I talk a lot in this podcast about the concept of neutrality, which again is not something that is talked about a lot in spiritual and manifestation spaces, but to be able to manifest anything, you don't necessarily need to be super positive. That's actually going to slow you down because there is this law of balance, which states that if you are too far on one side, the universe will pull you back to the other side. So if you are too positive, excited, elated about a manifestation, the universe will send in things that will make sure you feel the opposite so that you can go back to being neutral. When I talk about using your body to manifest, we want your body to feel neutral, to feel relaxed, to feel like it is obvious, right? And again, when you feel like things are obvious, opportunities come in. You magnetize clients, you magnetize opportunities so much more easily because you're not chasing after them. They feel obvious, right? When you're feeling deserving of things, which is the next step, right? With my clients, we always work first about feeling safe with the manifestation, and then we work on feeling like you're owed that manifestation. That is the next level. And when you are feeling deserving, when you are feeling owed, and you work with your body, again, and your mind, but this episode is about the body. When you work with your body about feeling like you're owed that thing already, well, things just come to you, right? Everything is energy, as we talked about. When your body feels like it is owed the thing will come. Now, how do you actually embody feeling safe, feeling deserving, and feeling owed? The first thing, as I kind of mentioned a little bit briefly earlier, comes with visualization. So, visualization is a non negotiable when you manifest. Visualization can be done through actually just sitting down and visualizing the thing. But if you're not a very visual person, you could also use scripting, journaling, all of those things. They would also work on the same, almost the same, similar areas in your brain, but they will light up those same areas that will feel like the manifestation is real. So if you're not the kind of person to just sit down and see what's going to happen, even though there is a way with my clients, I have never come across a client who fully struggled with it because I have different techniques to work on with my clients to make sure that their visualizations work, even if they think that they're not visual people per se. But you can also script, whatever that is. What's important for me is that you tune into your body. And again, you start with stating the manifestation. I earn 20K months regularly. I have a roster of 30 clients. My book is published and is a New York Times bestseller. Whatever that is, you tune in and you feel how it feels in your body. Where the contraction is, you want to stop and you want to, almost like strength training, you want to accumulate reps into actually softening those areas of your body. You breathe into them until they feel soft, and you do that enough times until your body finally feels ready to receive. Now, of course, there's a lot more than that. I'm just giving you kind of like the very beginning or like a simplified version of this, but this will already help you start with feeling like your body feels safe with it, right? So as you visualize, I want you to tune into your body and make sure your body feels expansive, feels relaxed, doesn't feel any sort of contraction, any of the signals and the signs that we talked about before. Now, this is the first kind of step. But we don't, once you get comfortable with this, we don't just want to think about your body feeling safe or feeling worthy or feeling deserving, feeling owed, which again, that is kind of the next step. We don't want your body to feel that only when you sit down to visualize your manifestation once a day. We want to essentially tip the scales. We want you to feel that way most of the time. Manifestation is influenced by your baseline state, the state that you live in all day, or at least most of the day. And that includes your emotions. We talk a lot about emotional mastery because that is so crucial. That includes your posture, your physical posture. That includes your breathing. That includes your pace, the pace that you take throughout the day. And all of those things impact, they're all energy, and they all send this broadcast into the universe that tells the universe whether you are ready to receive, whether you are neutral, whether you are aligned and relaxed, or whether you are bracing. Now, it is sort of easy as you visualize to start feeling calm, but if throughout the day you are rushing, you are constantly running, you feel like no matter what you do, you never have enough time, you are washing the dishes and folding laundry like someone is putting a gun to your head, well, that broadcasts a signal to the universe that states, I cannot actually hold this. Like, my life is so chaotic as it is. I do not have the capacity, I do not have the space to actually receive this extra thing. Where am I even going to put it in my calendar, right? Or like, I don't feel like I can actually hold another responsibility. And whatever it is that you're manifesting, it always comes down to responsibility. Whether that is more clients, more money, more team members, more visibility, it all comes with an additional responsibility. And if you feel, and if your body broadcasts that you cannot hold more responsibility, well, you are pushing the manifestation away. When you start working on your nervous system and your body, being relaxed most of the time, though, doing things more from a relaxed place, from a deserving place, from a place of knowing that the world kind of works for me. I don't work for the world. The universe works for me. I don't work for the universe. Like, I don't need to rush for anyone. And listen, I'm not telling you to be late for meetings and sessions. Absolutely not. But kind of operating from this different signal of, you bend to me, reality. You bend to me, universe. That signals that you are feeling relaxed. You have the capacity for more. You are feeling safe to receive more. And you're also feeling owed. You are feeling deserving of more. Now, the nervous system learns through repetition, the same as the subconscious mind. The nervous system and the physical body learn through repetition. So when you constantly and repeatedly feel rushed, feel like someone is chasing after you, like a bear is chasing after you, you're constantly feeling like there is not enough time, your system learns that you do not have the capacity and you do not feel safe to have anything else, let alone deserving or owed anything else, anything bigger. But when your body repeatedly experiences this calm ownership, like walking like it's already yours, walking like reality is bending in your favor, receiving your manifestation, your goals, your desires, starts feeling good, familiar, safe, instead of overwhelming and intense. And again, we are mixing a few steps here. Of course, with clients, we work on this very gradually and linearly, because there is the step of feeling safe and having the capacity. And then there's the next step of walking like it's already yours, having the posture, having the knowing that things are already yours, that you are already deserving of these things. And like, according to you, like to your body and to your subconscious mind, the thing should have already been here yesterday. And when you know that, like, it is inevitable. The thing comes. And walking like it's already yours and having the physical reactions and physical posture of it is already mine, like that is just inevitable, does not mean arrogance. It means moving with this calm certainty, just knowing that it is there, not stressing about it, as if receiving the opportunity is just super normal rather than exciting or surprising. And that is why for a lot of my clients, when we work on visualizing in the mind and in the body, I always get them to visualize more of a mundane situation rather than the exciting situation. So if we go back, for example, to my old story, it's relatively old now, of getting the very rare, prestigious PhD scholarships back in, I think it was 2020, when I worked literally for 3 months on manifesting two of the most prestigious PhD scholarships in the UK, which gave me, well, both paid for my tuition fees, which back then I was considered a foreign overseas student. So trust me, that was a lot of money. And then also actually gave me a very nice salary every single month, including 6 months maternity leave. So it was 3.5 years of a very nice salary to do my PhD, which was incredible and honestly unheard of, especially in the UK and especially in the field of leadership and education and identity, which is what I was exploring. When I did the manifestation work for 3 months, sometimes I would visualize hearing that I got the scholarship. I did have an email ready in my drafts folder telling my then future supervisor that I got the scholarship. So that was just ready in my drafts folder, ready to be sent. But most of the time, literally every single day, I would sit down and script a day in my life as a PhD student who has the scholarships. That's what I would do. I wouldn't constantly script and visualize hearing that exciting news. I was scripting and visualizing just being a PhD student that gets a scholarship and is just like so grateful that she gets to write her PhD and doesn't really have to do anything else, doesn't have to do any other work. Well, I actually did end up doing a lot of work in my PhD. I was a teacher at a master's degree for 3 years, and then I started my business because I do not know how to just like sit down and relax. But theoretically, with the salary that I received as part of this scholarship, I didn't need to do anything else. And when I was manifesting these scholarships, I would sit every morning. Back then, I did not have Alex, so I had a lot of free time. I would sit down every morning and just script, visualize, and feel into my body, feel how it feels just to be a PhD student sitting in my home office, writing my PhD, knowing that I have no other worries because I don't even have to work like most other PhD students because I won this scholarship. Like, how incredible. So, this is something that I work on a lot with my clients. When you visualize, visualize the after. Do not visualize the moment when, I don't know, your 20th client signed up, or when the huge announcement came in, or like when you got the job, or when you got the gig, or when you got the payment. No, visualize the after. Script the after and feel into your body when it's after, when it's already normal, not when it is like exciting and new. That makes the manifestation feel a lot more real, and therefore it will come faster as well. Now, what this all means in practice is when we visualize, when we script, when we do the manifestation work, we want to, again, tune into our body. We want to see where the contraction is. We want to figure out if that contraction means that we need to maybe readjust our manifestation, or whether we just need to feel like we are safer to receive it. It is ours. We feel safe. We feel worthy. And working on that in your body and in your mind as well. Of course, as I've been saying from the beginning, I am not dismissing working with the mind. I'm just saying we have to work with the body as well, because the body is made up of energy. It sends out a signal as well. And if you are skipping on working with your body, well, you are missing out on a whole layer of manifestation. And that is why it's probably not coming, or not coming fast enough, or not staying sustainably. But as you visualize, as you script, as you do the manifestation work, tune into your body until it feels safe. But also throughout the day, we want to make sure that your posture is being reset, that your breath is overall slowed down, that you are not feeling like someone is chasing you. We want your shoulders to be relaxed. We want you to essentially, most of the time, again, we talked about tipping the scales. We want you to be acting like, if I knew that this was already mine, how would I move right now? How would my body feel? How would my body react, and what would my posture and body language be like? And that is what we want to embody most of the time. Now, if you want a very practical way to start with sending out the right frequency and the right signal, make sure you get the Make It Inevitable free training, because I do have incredible tools there for frequency, which what we're talking about is kind of like the frequency element, but also for identity and physical actions. So make sure that you access that training and use the tools, because they truly are incredible. And then adding this body element of feeling relaxed, feeling like you're owed this thing and it's yours already yesterday, that is what's going to make the manifestation come so much faster. Now, some questions that I usually get when it comes to this topic. First of all, are we supposed to wait until everything feels perfect, until our body language and our body posture and signal is perfect, perfectly aligned, perfectly worthy, perfectly deserving, before we take the action? The answer is no. Embodiment work is not about reaching this flawless emotional state, flawless body reactions and body signals, and then acting. It is about bringing the body to a level of feeling safe and ideally feeling worthy, so that action feels possible. The right action, I'm going to add that in, the right action feels possible instead of paralyzing. You do not need zero fear, zero tension, or 100% clarity. We are not perfect. That's never going to happen. But you need enough internal steadiness that the nervous system and your body do not interpret the next step as a threat, or simply as something that you are not worthy of. Think of it like this. The goal is not to eliminate discomfort and eliminate tension before you move. It's to reduce the overwhelm, reduce the stress, reduce the tension, reduce the unworthiness enough so that you can take the next steps, you can take the aligned actions while staying grounded, while feeling like, again, the outcome is inevitable, it's obvious, it is already yours. And then as you act from that steadier state in your emotions, in your body, and your mind, that is when your capacity expands. You feel like the next level is safe, it is easier to hold, it is yours, it is worthy. And again, at the top level, you're owed it. You are owed it. It is already yours, no matter what. The universe has to give it to you because you just know that it is yours. You know that you have done everything to make sure that you are owed this thing. And once your body, in combination with your mind, feel safe, feel worthy, and feel owed, that is when the universe will just deliver. Again, it's all frequency, it's all energy, it's all what you broadcast. When your body and mind are in sync, they are aligned and they send out the same signal of this is safe, I am worthy, that is when it is going to come. So, just to wrap up this episode, what is one practical thing that I want you to really take from this and start doing today? Well, do what I told you at the beginning of this episode. Say your goal, say your manifestation, say your desire out loud, and check how your body reacts to it. Does your body feel calm, open, able to hold it? Or does your body store tension somewhere? And then if the tension is there, which it is likely there, that is when you start working with that tension, working with your body to start feeling safer, start feeling like the thing is safe, like you can hold it. And then at the next level, you start working also on feeling deserving in your body, feeling owned in your body. And a question that you can start asking your body when you do the manifestation work, when you visualize, when you manifest, when you imagine, whatever that is, does this feel like something that I can safely receive right now, that I can safely hold right now, and that I can feel like I am worthy of? Now, if you want to take this to the next level, work with someone who has done it herself and has done it with countless clients, making them feel safe and then worthy and owed in their body, in their mind. And then, of course, taking the right aligned actions that feel good and that actually bring results. This is the gap that I work in with my clients. We do not just work on the mind, we work on your body, and we work with physical actions as well. We work across all three layers of creation, which I break down in the Make It Inevitable free training. We take it, of course, to the next level in one-on-one work, guided by my trained intuition, meaning everything that we do, all the tools that my clients get in one-on-one sessions, whether that is identity tools, energy tools, and of course, physical actions, physical steps to take next to make their desire come faster, to make it inevitable. All of that is guided by my trained intuition, which I have worked with the top mentors in the world to develop and to strengthen. And when you work with intuition, you essentially work directly with your higher self, with your guides, and with source. So you cannot go wrong. So anything that you do is just guided by that higher power. And intuition has just never disappointed me, because when you work with that higher power, they want you to succeed, right? If I go back to the previous episode where people think that we are being tested by the universe, quote unquote, no. Source, our guides, our higher self, they are rooting for us to succeed. They want to help us. They never want to test us, and they do not want anything bad to happen to us. Anything bad that happens, anything that blocks us is our own creation, right? So when you work with intuition, when I work with my intuition to help myself and to help clients succeed, take the right physical action, use the right tools to rewire their subconscious and rewire their nervous system, master their emotions, and then of course what we talked about today, which is rewire their body reactions. When we work with intuition, your goals, your desires, your manifestations, they will just come because you get help from the right people. Intuition is communicating with that higher power. And when you do that, well, it is just so much easier. Like when I started using trained intuition, I've always been intuitive, but when I started properly training and using it for my goals and for my business about a year ago now, that is when my life changed, my business changed. Everything just feels easier. Everything feels more aligned. And that is what I love helping my clients do as well. So if this is something that you want to explore more, check out the description box or show notes to see how you can move from here. Right now, as I am recording this, I am working hard with my web developer and web designer to work on my new website. So it is possible that when this episode goes out, my website will still not be out, but I will come back when it is ready and make sure to put the link back in here. And if you're listening or watching this in real time, there will still be instructions in the show notes / description box as to how to explore further one-on-one sessions, mentorships, as well as one-on-one remote intuitive reads. And this is it for today. I would love to hear from you what you got from this episode. Again, this is a topic that is not very often spoken about, and that is why, one of the many reasons why manifestation does not come or does not stick for so many people. So again, this is a layer that I have not heard much about, and this is something that I had to kind of download, channel, and work with, come up with my own methods with it because I haven't seen that anywhere else. Yes, people talk about nervous system regulation, people talk about breath work and being relaxed, but people don't talk about it in relation to the body feeling safe with your manifestation and then feeling worthy and deserving and owed of your manifestation. This is a whole other layer. So as always, I would love to hear what you got from this episode. If you use the tool, let me know what came up, what kind of tension came up. Are you working on eliminating this tension and then rooting and drilling into your body that you are now owed this manifestation? Let me know. Email me at hello@shirileader.com or message me at Dr. Shiri Leader on Instagram. I always love hearing from you. And as always, if you love this episode, I would so love it and appreciate it if you rate us at 5 stars on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. If you're watching this on YouTube, like, subscribe, leave a comment. Again, I always love hearing what you got from this episode. Send this to a friend. If a friend is struggling with reaching a goal, achieving a goal, manifest, even though they're doing all the manifestation work, right? This might be the missing piece. So send it to a friend that, this might help. And this is it for me today. Thank you, my loves, for being here. And I will see you next time. Bye.